So, I mean, anyone who's watched the channel is aware of my thoughts on the trailer. So, I think we'll sort of talk about the trailer itself now here with this, the 7 biggest moments, etc., whatever, because they encapsulate a lot of my problems. So first and foremost, we're talking about time, right? Scott Lang is going to make a deal with Kang because he wants more time. He wants to. He's going to risk everything for more time. Why would you do that? You've just come back. You've just got it all back. I don't see the incentive. He lost everything. He lost everything, and he just got it all back. I don't see the realistic incentive behind him doing this, given the scenario that was at play prior to this. He lost his whole family. It's all gone. Disappeared, gone. And he got it all back. Like, why would you suddenly be like, yep, cool. I'm willing to risk everything. Trust some random weirdo that I've never even, met before. That's living in a bubble, in the quantum realm. I don't see the incentive realistically as a character. And it paints him out to be an even bigger idiot than, he's ever been portrayed as before. Not only that, this all could have been avoided by Janet Van Dyne, Wasp, original Wasp, telling everyone that Mr. Kang was down there. Why did she lie to everyone? Why didn't she tell anyone? It just doesn't make any that to me doesn't make any sense. I think it's really stupid.
It's a big hole.
Why would he risk it all? Why? He's like, because I can have more time with my daughter.
I mean, just how you're explaining it, didn't we already see this already? Wasn't it
exactly
that part 2 of the Avengers Endgame?
Yes.
That's
exactly.
The story was told through Scott, like he actually came, I'm like,
yeah. Do you see what I mean now? Like we've heard this part before. We've heard it. So I really don't like. I mean, again, culture. Tom, please do chime in if you have anything to add to that. But it just, to me, is dumb. I think it's dumb. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, like you said, it makes no sense as a father. You look at it as, yes, I just managed to get my life back. I missed all these years with my kid, but at least she's still here, and I'm still here, and so on. And he's finally got his life back in order. Sure, everybody would love that second chance, but like you said, he doesn't even know if it's going to fucking work. And chances are, let's be real, when has time travel ever worked out? Really? Like, there's always a catch, right? It's like one of those things.
It worked out for Biff Tannen.
Not really. Yeah.
It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. Kang, his look. So they're like, oh, he's got a comic accurate blue face. Yes, he does. Sure, I guess.
Oh, we have another blue skinned.
We go Super Saiyan in this as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was like a weird force field that's around him. It's not actually his skin.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe he'll go and hang out with Namor.
Yeah. And Namora. Chronopolis is Kang the Conqueror's time-spanning stronghold. Now, I will say this. Out of my main issues with currently the quantum realm and the multiverse stuff, and also the cosmic stuff, is the aesthetic is all the same. So the Guardians of the Galaxy introduced us to some really, really incredible CG aesthetic elements, like grand space cosmic worlds, and it all just looked great. And then they took that for the multiverse stuff. Now the multiverse looks like that, and now they've took that again for the quantum realm, and now the quantum realm all looks the same. So that's a bit frustrating when there's no differentiation. This, out of the whole trailer, was really, really, really cool. Seeing this was cool, and I like Chronopolis, very clearly inspired like a from a stopwatch, an old time actual mechanism watch, and I liked that a lot. I thought that was really cool, but the aesthetical elements of The aesthetical elements of everything which is being shared now, I have a massive issue with. But I don't know what you guys thought about that. I don't know if you sort of remembered, the sort of look of it all. The multiverse looks the same, cosmic looks the same, and now quantum realm looks the same. What do you guys think?
No, I agree. I've actually noticed this problem beyond Marvel. It's this thing lately where everything is too busy, for one. Like, just too much going on. I can't concentrate on anything. And in that, it makes everything look too similar-ish. To where I even have a hard time sometimes when I'm in the midst of a movie trying to figure out where I am location-wise, just because they don't do a very good... Because, like you said, everything looks the fucking same. It's like, where am I now? Oh, okay, I know I'm in this place because of these characters, but like if it wasn't for that,
Yeah, you could be anywhere, right? You could be in the multiverse. You could be in the cosmic realm. You could with this kind of stuff. You could be anywhere. This was the one good thing from the trailer, aesthetically wise, like set piece wise. Although it's not an actual set piece, you know what I mean, like visual set piece. But you are right. Like the rest of it, there's nothing to distinguish where you are actually located, where you are situated. I think that's a problem. When you're trying to, tell it's a multiverse story, isn't it? This is the multiverse saga, I guess. But we're also now in the quantum.
Well, that's kind of why I liked Guardians, because James Gunn is real good about letting you know where you're at. He'll always give you a quick little flash of where you're at and stuff like that in most of his films. So that I like, because then I don't have to really sit there and think about. But at least with his movies, a lot of times there's a bit more of a differentiation between where you're at compared to a lot of other films.
Yeah.
But again, it's not just a Marvel problem either. This is across the board with a lot of these films when they have these huge vistas, and it's like it all looks the same to me after a while. Like, give me something that's a little different, something I haven't necessarily seen before, or shot in a way I haven't seen it shot before.
Yeah, shot how you haven't seen it shot before. That's James Gunn, because you're right. A lot's to be said about the vision of the director, but it sounds like a lot of visionary directors have left Marvel, right? They don't want to work with Marvel anymore. I mean, Culture, chime in. What do you think, brother?
No, I look at it, and again, I mean, the reason that I think the aesthetic is the same is they were stealing from Gunn. Gunn was supposed to be the king of this whole thing. And I think that's why they settled on this particular aesthetic for the cosmic and, creepy and whatnot. I maybe that's some of the homogenized thing that I see in the trailer, right? And then it's kind of turning me off. That might be true. I'm one of those, I like what Tom said, what Paulie said. I want to see something done that's original, that like delineates that, okay, you're in the cosmic realm, you're in the quantum realm. I think that I can understand why they're trying to do the aesthetic, because they're trying to lean into the Gunnisms, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, he's gone. Let's try and do your own thing. Try to define each of these different realms.
Well, let's say if like you showed me that picture there, I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's Wakanda, something out of the Eternals.
That's true.
There's nothing about it that tells me it's what it is, right?
Well,
like
that's true. Yeah.
There's too much there for it to be Eternals, Tom.
That's a good point. That's a little too pricey for them.
Can we talk about how the universe, how the Avengers were saved by a Mexican, and why was he cut from Ant-Man 2 and this one? I'm talking about Luis and his van. I mean, what the F?
I know.
That was one of the best parts of the first movie. Is his little breakdown.
He was hilarious. What happened to Michael Pena in
he's in the second one, but not nearly as much, right? Like, and
he's not in this one either.
I was gonna say he's even in this one. I haven't even seen him on the cast list.
Right. And then in Avengers Endgame, he's not even in it. It's his pinche van. That's messed up, man.
Not good.
I mean, I'll at least give Taika Waititi this much when it comes to like Thor Ragnarok and even Thor Love and Thunder. I can at least tell the difference between some of the. I'll give him that much credit. Like the production design of the you know, the different areas they're going to.
Each locale
like,
was different.
Yeah, it has its own kind of, you know, especially when they were on the planet in Ragnarok. Like that really felt like you were dropped right into a Jack Kirby comic. So
yeah. And so at the end of the trailer, we see Scott Lang fighting Kang, and obviously the logic is that he's probably going to die, right?
I think so.
But the thing that made me think, well, maybe not, because there's a few Scotts in the trailer. In fact, there's quite a few Scotts in the trailer. So I wonder if it's just one Scott that fights for the other Scott to survive. You know, a variant, or I don't know. I don't know, but I think that there is a bait and switch, but I don't think it's what is immediately apparent. It might be, by the way, FYI, that he's just going to die, and that's the bait and switch, and then, you know, the women will take charge. Sure, cool, but it might not be, and it might actually be that the bait and switch is that there's a few Scots, you know, because he does seem to be acting out of character.
I bet you $5.
Maybe it's one of the others that die.
You're probably right, but it could also be a situation where the next movie is going to be called Ant-Woman and Wasp. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be his daughter. You watch.
Well, that's the other thing to talk about. I don't think that. Yeah, so there's no actual reference to it, but they've obviously swapped the actor out for his daughter, and I don't know why, because she's not necessarily she's not a better actor. And there's one scene in the trailer where she screams "Dad," and it is awful. The inflection in the voice, the emotion, it is awful. Genuinely awful. And I don't understand why they did it, because this person's not really an up-and-coming actor. No one really to. I don't understand. I don't understand why they swapped the. I mean, the girl is the same sort of age. Like, there's no real reason to swap her out. Doesn't make any sense. It's very bizarre. But I just thought that was worthwhile. Yeah, mentioning, because it's just odd. To me, it's really odd.
Well, I hear Terrence Howard is available if you ever need
him
for a Marvel role.
Oh dear.
Oh, burn.
It's
rough. So we've got MODOK. It's actually Yellow Jacket, so it's not MODOK, but it is MODOK, but it's not MODOK. So Yellow Jacket has become MODOK. It is Corey Stoll. It's his face. You can see it right there. Thoughts on that? MODOK just being Yellow Jacket?
Why do they got to keep making other characters?
Maybe it's because they keep getting rinsed for their sort of throwaway villains. So they've not technically thrown him away, because they brought him back as another one.
But he's already his own villain, kind of like how Captain America is Captain America and Falcon's Falcon. Why make Falcon Captain America when you already got one?
Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't.
And I'm sure Patton Oswalt's pissed, because didn't he play him in the Hulu series?
Yeah.
So that's clearly not canon.
Wow.
Yeah, I just why? It doesn't even look like MODOK. MODOK's supposed to be all like, you know, yeah, he looks like a dumb big head.
Is it true? Cool. It's a title? Is that like? Are you just kidding, Jerry?
I don't think it is.
I was saying,
maybe he's talking about Captain America.
Because MODOK, his name is made up of, it's an acronym or whatever you call it.
I think they're talking about Captain America as a title. Maybe.
Well, hey, Thor's a title too. I mean, come on.
Yeah. That's the joke. Yes, sorry about that. Yeah.
Hey Tom. Hey Tom. I'm Roger MODOK, co-pilot.
So what do we think of MODOK being in it, and it being?
I don't give a shit. Not only that, you got Bill Murray supposedly in some secret role, and he's not MODOK. Okay, like,
what are you doing with Bill Murray? Yeah, that was a little creepy when you saw just like Bill Murray for a second. Like, you know, it looked like he was like a face-gasm. I was like,
you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna have him play a similar role to what Jeff Goldblum did, probably.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I you know, sure, it just feels a bit like another throwaway thing, just to be like, there you go, be happy, we've got MODOK kind of situation. Kang's got an army, of course. Sure, fine. It'll just be similar to the Chitauri, you know.
They always do. They got to have random throwaway bad guys that you can just toss.
Yeah. And then obviously this is the element, the trailer, which obviously people have referenced a lot more, which is the end, which will be, you know, they both have to lose. He doesn't have to
and don't we already know he doesn't defeat? Don't we already know that he can't defeat Kang, because that's what one Avenger movie says.
Well, it's what he says in the trailer is, you know, I don't have to beat you. We just both have to lose, or something like that. Yeah. So obviously there's some kind of time element at play here, I would imagine, where if he can keep him there for a certain level of time, his plan doesn't work, and then.
So here we go, though, with another Marvel villain that's going to spend the end of the film getting away in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But
that is a common denominator now. Like,
well, it does make sense though, because they are building out to, you know, the Kang dynasty and all of that. So it does make sense that they would do that. But then, yeah, I don't know. They're going to have to really show him as a very, 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 you know, formidable foe. They have to set him up here as a very formidable foe for it to be worthwhile building towards that as the end goal, which hopefully they do. But overall, you know, to me, the trailer was just quite underwhelming. And, you know, as it stands currently, we've got a lot of, you know, we've got the entirety of Phase 4 to look at in terms of quality, and it's not been very good. And unless they, you know, they vastly change things, vastly shape things in a different direction, it will be more of the same. You know, I got accused of being called, or I got called jaded in a comment on my video about this, and I just said, look, the entirety of Phase 4 was shit. They're like, yes, so that's Phase 4. It's not jaded then. It's referencing the most recent elements of Marvel and looking at it from a, you know, an objective viewpoint and going, this is the trajectory that they're on. It's not that good. This still doesn't look that good. You know, it didn't get me hyped personally. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, thoughts overall to sort of round it out, Paulie?
In the words of Terrence Howard, "Womp that trick."
Fuck's sake. Yeah. Culture.
Yeah. I'm like you said, I'm less excited for this film now than ever. So I mean, jaded is the right word. Realism is probably a better word. I'm realistic now. I've seen this. I've seen this rodeo before. I've been, you know, or magic show or whatever you want to call it. It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, Tom.
Again, I really am just. It saddens me because I did enjoy the first film quite a bit, like I said.
Yep, same. I did too.
And this is just more a reminder of like what Paulie and these guys are saying, is that this is, at this point, why should we even give a shit? Like, it's they're giving us nothing to hold on to. We already kind of have an idea of where it's going. We have patterns on top of patterns. Like I just said, they don't even know how to get rid of or make a good villain. You know, anymore. Like, I don't really give a shit about Kang. Do I give a what the fuck am I supposed to care about Kang for? Right? Well, like, I watched part of Loki and it sucked. Like, that's the other problem they have, is all this other shit leading up to everything anymore. I don't care about these characters because I didn't watch the rest of this or that, because it's like, fucking who cares about this shit? It's dumb.
I think the contributing factor there is, real quickly, Tom, and let me know if you agree, all of you. There's no stakes.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Sorry. I know I'm sounding like a fucking Spurgeon child, but T-Bone or
Yep.
Man, that sounds good. Okay, but anyway, no, there's no stakes. These characters don't mean anything. You don't feel anything when somebody dies, because there's a decent chance they're going to come back in the next film. And you know, if you don't have stakes, you know, where's the emotional investment? All these other things, right? I think the last quality death that we had in the MCU would have been Tony Stark. And then, you know, anything else, they'll be back.
And the MCU died with Tony Stark. Let's be fucking real.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Aside from Spider-Man No Way Home, which was just kind of like a fun also rand at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, there was a pretty powerful death there as well. I thought that was.
Yeah, I mean, that's
well
a good. Done. It was a good ending to the Spider-Man trilogy in that sense. Like, if you want to look at it that way, or a jump off point for a new one or whatever. But outside of Spider-Man and Guardians, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same. They say that Endgame was their end game, you know, for Marvel in general.